guys. Hello, hello. Okay, this is my first live ever on this channel. Um, I don't know if any one of you has joined or is joining, but I don't know how it works. But I'll just do what I have to do. I don't know if this is the way to put it or the other way. Okay, I'll just wait a few minutes and then I will talk to you guys. Oh, someone just joined. Let me see. Please let me know. I don't know how it works. Let me know in the comment section or how it works. So, top chat, top messages, all messages. Nope. Please let me know in the comments if you're seeing me because I cannot see anybody, but I shall know some people are joining. Like we have two people now. Let me know. Just leave me a comment so I just know that you guys are there and you're listening or you're hearing me or you're there. Just let me know. Let me know. I'll just wait a few more minutes and then I'll just talk about what I want to talk about. Leave me a comment. I don't know if you can hear me. Oops. I think I don't know if you can hear me. Oh, I can't. Can you guys hear me? If not, maybe I'll just disconnect and come back. Let's see. Ah, my God. Oh, okay. Um, Hi, Renee. I don't know if you can hear me. Let me know. Say a yes or a no. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Hello. If you can hear me, please type a yes. Hello. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, just leave me a yes. Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Okay, welcome back. My name is Ada. And sorry for this live. I know it's kind of impromptu. That's because if I'm waiting to plan to come on this live, I might likely not be able to come. I might likely not be able to do it. So I just told myself, you know what? I'm going to jump on it. We have to learn on the job, and that's why I'm here. Anyway, the topic I chose to talk about today is we all know that there've been a lot of changes on in this Canada immigration thing. So if you're one of those people that has dreams of moving to Canada, with the whole changes, I know quite a good number of people might say, I don't think I want to, do this thing. I don't think I want to move to Canada anymore. But more like, I just want to encourage you guys to, you know, don't let your Canada dream die just because of the changes. There've been a lot of changes going on, and most of them are more like it's targeted at international students. And most of them is looking like, oh, what's the essence of coming to school here in Canada? And at the end of the day, what do I stand to gain if I can't transition from, international student to permanent residency? So with that, everyone is like a lot of people I know is like having a second thought if it's something they want to do. But I just want to point out a few things that can help you transition if you're coming through the student route. But if you're not coming through the student route, if you want to do direct permanent residence kind of thing, I also want to point out a few things that you need to look at for. So if you're coming through the student route, it is always advisable to go for courses that are um what's it called, in demand. So many people will say, must it be healthcare? It necessarily doesn't have to be healthcare. It necessarily doesn't have to be what? Healthcare. Even though healthcare is like an evergreen job, right? It is like an evergreen profession where everybody, you know, you're sure at 40 years, 50 years, you're still going to get a job. But I don't think healthcare is the only career path that can give you permanent residency. So it is always advisable to, first of all, search for courses that are in demand. There is agric. People don't talk about this. Agric is in demand. It's not compulsory that you must be a farmer. You could do other, you know, courses that are in the section of the agri. There's trade. There is trade. Guys, people are not, you guys are sleeping on this pathway. There is trade. Trade includes transportation, it includes supply chain, it includes um a lot of them, like when it comes to transportation is kind of wide. So anything that has to do with transportation, guys, guys, do not sleep on trade. There are a lot of categories under trade. And if you're not, taking, if you don't know, just read up on them, check for courses that are in this category and take advantage of it. Then when we talk about the tech part too, which is a STEAM, which is engineering, which is tech, there are a lot of opportunities that are not, you don't even need to do coding in tech for you to be qualified. So these are like, take, take your time, do your research, good research on jobs that, or on courses that are in demand, that are not only has to do with what? Health. So let me know in the comment section if you have any question. But if you don't, another thing I'm going to talk about is not just, getting admission, picking a course, getting admission, and applying for your visa. Another thing you can do is look for provinces that has returnability. When I mean that, it means provinces that it is easy for you to transition from permanent resident, from student to being a permanent resident. For instance, there is Manitoba. If you school in Manitoba, and after that, I think after 6 months, you have, you're entitled to apply for permanent residency. It's just very easy. All you need to do is just school and live in Manitoba. School, live in Manitoba. Just give them your money through school fees and you're good to go. There are another province that people don't talk about is New Brunswick. Guys, I know a lot of people will say, oh, there is no job in New Brunswick. There is no maybe it's not as bubbling as Toronto. But when you school and you live in New Brunswick, you are entitled without a job offer. Without a job offer, you're entitled to do what? You're entitled to do what? to apply for your permanent residency after 6 months. So if you're just waiting to, everybody is rushing to Ontario. Ontario is trying these days, and I give it to them because I remember before I came to Canada, a lot of people were like, when they hear, oh, you got an admission in Canada and it has to be Ontario, there's always like this, what's the word? There's always this thing. Ah, don't go to Ontario. There is no exit plan. Don't go to Ontario. There is no exit plan. Guys, there's exit plan now in Ontario, and Ontario is giving it to us back to back. So those of us here, everybody's wishing. Some people in, I remember back then also, British Columbia used to be one of those provinces where everybody's rushing to go to because they have a pathway for international students, which they've currently paused. So when you say you want to go to Ontario, they're like, why didn't you go to British Columbia? But now there is 1,001 pathway in Ontario for you to, transition. The only difference is that this province is expensive. It is fucking expensive. I'm sorry I'm using the F word, but it is expensive. So go to provinces where it is easy, even with, like in Ontario, you need a job offer. And then there's the Canadian Express class, which is even way, right now, this course in Canadian Experience class is very high. So it's, if you're waiting for just that pathway, you need to make sure that you max out on your what IELTS for you to get in through this what pathway. So go to Manitoba, Newfoundland, and Labrador. This province, Newfoundland, Newfoundland. People are sleeping on Newfoundland to get admission. Hi, Mandy. Thank you for joining. Hi, Kathy. Thank you for joining. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. So, like I was saying, Newfoundland, people are actually sleeping on that province. You get PR 6 months without any job offer. Without a job offer. That's the only province that is doing that now. Then there is another province, which is the third one, Prince Edward Island. The only problem with Prince Edward Island is the fact that it is more like a white country. I call it white country. It is a white province where um, everything there is too cold there. Everything there is white. Winter is terrible there. But if you school in Prince Edward Island and you get a job offer in any NOC, when I mean in any, like it's that easy, in any NOC, you can apply for your permanent residence. So why wait? It doesn't have to be only Ontario. Then, yeah, extremely cold. It is extremely cold in Prince Edward Island. That's just the only difference. But it still makes sense that you can school there, and I'm sure you will get a job, because even though the job market in Canada now is somehow, is like this. I don't know the word to use. It's like this. So for some people, it is easy. I'm one person that believe in grace. I am one person that believe in God. So if anything, hi Olusegun, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. So I'm one person that believe in grace. So even though the job market is like this, I still believe that anything is possible in Canada. Canada is a land of opportunity. I was supposed to bring someone on this live, but he didn't have time. This is one person that I know came into Canada with just 1,800. That was the only money. School fees, he just paid half. What's it called? accommodation, he was struggling, feeding, he was struggling. He came into Canada with 8,800. But as I talk to you, this person is doing extremely well. He's been able to pay off his school fees. He's been able to, he can afford anything he wants right now. Canada is a land of opportunity. Forget all the changes. So, with all the plenty changes, just forget it. Come in first. That's what I used to tell people. Please, I really your word of. Okay, Oluseun, drop your whatever question you want to ask. I will also address it. I really, yeah, just drop your question and I will address it. That's why we're here live. So another province, like I said, is Prince Edward Island. It's pretty cold there. Well, we don't like people are not thinking of going there. Why? Because of just the cold. What is cold? I used to tell people that I can go to the end of the world as long as I get what I'm looking for. So what is just cold? When you go there, you do your school, you get a job, any NOC, and you get your permanent resident. The bottom line, the end game in this journey is what? PR. You get your PR. So what is in Prince Edward Island? It's just cold now. We go there and get ourselves sorted out. Right? It's just cold though. You dress up, wear better clothes, wear better winter jacket. And besides, the cold does not last all year round. It's just for a certain number of months, and then you're good to go. After that, summer comes, spring comes, or fall comes, and we go back to the circle again. When you stay there for a year, you get used to it, and you won't. I don't think you want to be feel the cold. You can't feel that cold for too long. So what is there? Me, I'm a serious advocate of anywhere that you will get your permanent resident, any province, my brother and sister, go there. Overlook what is there, the obstacle, just go there. Another province that gives PR is Saskatchewan. I don't know how to pronounce them or if I'm getting it right. Saskatchewan gives permanent residency. All you need to do is just school there, live there, and you're good to go. How is studying finance as a course in Canada? Well, studying finance as a course in Canada. Finance. Well, you can mostly get government related jobs. That is the only thing I can tell you for finance. I don't know how good the job market is. Okay, finance, except you're doing accounting, auditing, then I'm sure it is. I think their job market is not that bad. It's not saturated, but at the same time, I don't know if it's like an in-demand kind of job section where you can see. For instance, if you're studying supply chain, I used to tell people what is the best. Okay, I'll come to that. I used to tell people that if you're studying supply chain, which is the course I took as a second program, right? If you're studying supply chain, just type supply chain. It's under trade, right? Just type supply chain jobs in Google and wait. 1 minute, you will see more than 10 to 20 list of jobs. So this particular course is not health, but is in demand. So for finance, I don't know if how in demand the job market is, but I know if you're studying anything in accounting, um, auditing, maybe you can get a job in the government, like all these Ontario government, ministries. Their pay is good. By the way, it's government, right? But they cannot help you with anything with PR. That's just the only thing. so I can't say much about their job market. What is the best pathway for PR in Ontario? Health, health. Ontario is health. Ontario is trade. The tech, which is the STEAM, I hardly see them do draw in this pathway. But you see health back to back. They just did health draw 2 days ago, 463. That is, this one is giveaway. They just carry PR dash people giveaway. So if you have 1 year experience in health, you're good to go. Health is the fastest when it comes to Ontario. Then trade. Okay. I'm considering supply chain and logistics. Please take it. It's difficult. Like I suffered. I will not lie to you guys. When I did supply chain, even my friend I studying, she right now is her second program. She had, I think, 4.0 in her CGP for her previous course. Like she was a distinction student. But when she came to supply chain, she's just telling every day she tells me, I'm just praying to pass and go. It is difficult. You see, supply chain, it is difficult, but the job market is crazy. People don't know this, but it doesn't have to always be health. People don't know. The job market is crazy, and it is also it also has its own PR pathway. So, and supply chain is not just transport. It has, you can be a procurement manager, you can be in the finance part, you can be a you can work in logistics, which is you can be a warehouse manager. You can work in clearing and forwarding, which is where I have an experience in for over 10 years. You can work there, like it's so diverse. So getting PR in this pathway is pretty easy. If you're a student, aren't you supposed to leave after your course? Well, it's up to you. It's your personal decision. If you want to leave after your program or at the end of your program, that's what you told Canada, right? So if you just want to come get the experience, it's up to you. It's not mandatory. But if you find life here and you decide to stay, it is up to you. Laura, hope I answered your question. So, if you're a student at the end of your program, by the way, that's what we say in our visa application, right? If you want to go, you can go back to your home country. And now Canada is even making it in such a way that going forward, like they announced from 1st of November, you have to write an English exam for you to apply for your postgraduate work permit. And after that, now it is up to them to decide if your course is good enough for them to issue you a postgraduate work permit. Meaning they can decide not to issue you a postgraduate work permit and then ask you to go back home. And if you graduate, because usually when you graduate, you have three months on your study permit. If they don't issue you a postgraduate work permit or they don't approve it, you have no option than to go back to your home country. Legally, you're supposed to leave. Yeah, legally, you're supposed to leave. That's why I said it's up to you, Laura. If you want to leave legally, you can go. But if you want to stay, nobody forces you to stay. That's why Canada has post. It's called post graduate work permit, meaning they know that you might decide to leave at the end of your stay, or you might decide to stay. So they call it post. It is up to them. If I apply for postgraduate work permit and they issue me, It's not in your place to ask me to leave. Legally, you're supposed to leave, but you don't have to leave if you don't want to leave. If you're, as long as you're staying legally, as long as you're staying with your postgraduate work permit, it makes you legal so you can remain in Canada. I hope that answers your question, please. Anyway, like I was saying, regarding provinces that can issue you PR, I've talked about Manitoba. Mind you, a lot of people think they can school in Ontario or any other province and run to Manitoba because it's easy to get PR, right? Manitoba has this on their official website that if you school outside Manitoba or you live outside Manitoba, when you apply for permanent residency, they're going to deduct 200 marks, 100 marks, 100 points for schooling outside Manitoba, another 100 points for living outside Manitoba. Please make it make sense to me. I see people who finish here and they say they are relocating to Manitoba because that's where they want to get their permanent residency. Make it make sense to me that let's assume as I did now, I on my profile, I have just 400 points and then I lose 200. Make it make sense to me. So that's why from the beginning, please choose a province that you're sure this is your end, this is where you want to stay. This is where you want to live. This is where you want to school. You don't want to run from pillar to post just because you're looking for permanent residency. This is where you want to live. That's why you should choose a good province where you want to school, where you want to live, so that at the end of your what? School, at the end of your studies, you can get a job there and stay and transition easily. Does this answer my question? So I've talked about Manitoba, Newfoundland, Prince Edward Island, and then I'll talk about Ontario. Ontario is good, guys. It's an expensive province, but I can't have it any other way. It is one of they make it easy. They might not make it easy. Let me not say easy. They might not make it easy for you to get permanent residency, but somehow of late they are trying. They are doing what they can do just for you to get permanent residency. Then another province that you should think about going to is Nova Scotia. People don't talk about Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia has a PMP pathway where even if you school in a school that is not DLI, designated learning institute, you school in any college or any university that does not have DLI, as long as maybe it's a health course, you can easily transition in the sense that the minute you're done with your school, just try and get a full-time job. Once you get a full-time job in Nova Scotia, you can easily use that to apply for your permanent residency and you are good to go. And they have their own, they have their own pathway, just like Ontario has ONIP. Nova Scotia has their own PMP pathway that is easy for those in the healthcare, especially PSW, nurses. You're good to go. So Nova Scotia is the fifth province that offer you PMP easily, very easy. You're good to go. Just go there. And now I think they are beginning to do like Manitoba, where they say if you don't school there and you don't live there, please don't bother applying for PMP. Even if you get a job there, don't bother applying because they are not going to attend to you. That's what it is. Then another province that has a pathway for permanent residency will be Vancouver. Vancouver has like a pathway for permanent Vancouver has a pathway for permanent residency that people, though it's been paused, is not cast on stone, but um, of late, a lot of people has been complaining that their PMP is not working. They've not been doing draws as much as they should in Vancouver, like British Columbia, not Vancouver, in British Columbia. A lot of people has been complaining that British Columbia is not doing as much draws as they should, but they also have a pathway for international students, especially where you graduate, you work there, you don't even need no, you need a job offer there. But the minute you graduate from there, you can, transition into permanent residency. How do one get a how do one get a provincial nomination from any province? Well, you can get provincial nomination when you get, for Ontario, you get a job. The minute you get a job in any company that is domiciled in Ontario, you can apply for your PMP. And I think it's the same thing with any other province. The minute you get a job there, for those that uses job offer. For those that does not use job offer, like Newfoundland and Manitoba, all you need to do is live there, school there, then you're eligible to apply for PMP because you have documents that say I schooled in University of Manitoba, I schooled in Memorial University, which is in Newfoundland. Those documents are proof. Those documents are your evidence to apply for provincial nomination. So if you school and live in Manitoba or Newfoundland, you can. But every other province, the minute you school and live there, please get a job, a full-time job, full-time, in quotes, full-time job. With that, it shows that, oh, you're willing to, it is assumed you're willing to spend your life here. So you can apply for your, you can apply for the PMP and they will grant you that. That's just the only way you can apply for provincial nomination. Leave school there or leave school and get a full-time job. Full-time job is important in this Canada. So once you have these three things, you're good to go. Leave and school there, you can apply, or leave school and get a job, you can then apply. That's how provincial nomination works. If this explains everything to you. Then another province that people don't talk about is Alberta. Alberta is the easiest. I had to leave it for the last because they say we save the best for the last. So Alberta is the easiest to get PMP. Alberta has a pathway where if you have a family member, let's assume I have my sister living in Alberta and working in Alberta. My sister can nominate me and I will get PMP, which is the provincial nomination in Alberta. They have that. It's called the sibling, whatever, whatever. It's like a pathway where, as long as you have a family member living in Alberta, you can get PMP. Another, Alberta is also easy when you school and you live there. It is easy for you to what? Apply for your provincial nomination. So these are just the few provinces. I've talked about um, Manitoba, I talked about Newfoundland. I talked about Prince Edward Island. I talked about Ontario, and then Nova Scotia, and then Alberta. It is not limited to these. These are the ones I mentioned are the easiest ones to get permanent residency. If you want to transition, these are like the provinces you should look at schooling so that it is easy for you to transition because they have what high rate of returnability in these provinces. So those are like the provinces that you can get what permanent residency easily without too much stress. Just meet the eligibility, meet the criteria, and you're good to go. So let me know, guys, if you have any question. Basically, it's all about currently, if you check the draws now, it is PMP back to back. It is provincial nomination was back to back. That's what they're doing. They enter the express entry, they pick those with provincial nomination. 2 days later, back, they pick them. 3 days later, they go back, they pick them. It's been on a roll back to back. So the best way to get PR in this Canada right now is to have PMP. Then if you're below 30, you can do Canadian Experience class because that is high in the first place. That's why I'm not even talking about it. It is very, very high. Their cutoff, their point, their ITA point or cutoff point is very high at the moment. So it is always best you do PMP is the easiest way to get permanent residency right now. So let me know if there is any other question. Olusewu, you didn't get to drop your question, but it's okay. You can leave it in the comment section and I will attend to it maybe some of the time or in our live section. Let me know, guys. I think I'll bring it to the end. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it or if you have any other question you want to ask me in the comment section. If not, we will bring it to an end here. For my advice, sincerely, I will tell you that if you have a Canadian dream, if you have the dream of moving to Canada, please don't let anything stop you. Do not let anything stop you because that it did not work for A. You guys know me. I always say it on this channel that you did not work for A or it did not work for B or B came schooled because I've seen it happen. And at the end of the day, they did not get PR and they had to leave the country. That it happened to someone you know, even with all these changes, does not mean that it will happen to you. Do you get? It happened to so many people. Did not mean that it will happen to you. So if you still have the dream of moving to Canada, and because of the changes you're considering, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Guys, I will tell you that it is still worth it. Let's say, did you say points drop when you move from one province to Manitoba? Yes, so it is on the Manitoba, it is on the official site. If you move, as long as you did not school in Manitoba, as long as you've not spent your first 1 year or 2 years in Manitoba, and then all of a sudden, because you're looking for permanent residence, you moved from one province to Manitoba. Manitoba will deduct 200 points. First of all, if you came in, if you moved there and during your application, you said you schooled in Ontario, they will take out 100 points from you for schooling in Ontario and coming to look for the permanent residency in Manitoba. Then they take out another 100 points from you for living your first 1 year in Ontario and then coming to Manitoba to come and collect PMP. 200 points is on their site. Please check it out. Okay, do you think this applies to other provinces? Let's say I plan to move from Ontario to Newfoundland after school. Well, I don't know if Newfoundland have this same um, laws or rules governing them, but I know Manitoba does. I know Nova Scotia does. The minute you did not do anything live there and you want to come and collect provincial nomination, they're going to deduct points from you. In fact, Nova Scotia will tell you don't bother coming because they cannot help your life. So for Newfoundland, I don't know. So there are some provinces that have this thing as a rule, as a as a rule governing them. Then for those provinces, you will definitely lose points. But for provinces that does not care, just like in Ontario, you cannot apply even if you school somewhere else and you move to Ontario for you cannot apply for Ontario. If let's assume you're living in Manitoba and you have a job in Ontario, I think there is a stream in Ontario that is easy for people that you cannot apply for because you did not live here. You're not living here. You're only coming for their permanent residency. So you can maybe apply for human capital stream, but you cannot apply for any other stream that has to do with people who live in Ontario. So for each provinces, they have their own rules. They have what is governing them. Manitoba will give you after 6 months, as long as you schooled and you lived there. That is just it. So for me, each provinces has their rules and regulations, which you need to do your research first before you move to that, so that you don't go there and start crying because it will slam you. Then you don't move there because people are saying it's the easiest place to get permanent residency. Move there because you've done your research. That's why doing research is very important. Thank you. Okay, like I was saying before, if your Canadian dream, if your dream is to come to Canada, no matter what happens, please still pursue it because at the end of the day, God is the only author and the finisher of our faith. This is how what me I believe. Whatever will work out will work out. Anyway, guys, that brings us to the end of this live. Let me know in the comment section if you have any other question. If not, thank you for coming to my live. Thank you, Blessing. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate. Thank you, Mandy, so much. I wasn't sure if anybody would show up, but thank you, guys. Thank you, Laura. Olusheo, thank you so much for joining my live. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.